we are at the Thriller Chiller Film Festival in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Smart aleck. I like that. And I have writer and director Jon Binkowski from, what was it, Orlando, Florida?
Yes, yes. Actually, it's a little town called Celebration. It was the little town that Disney built, and everybody gives me a hard time for living there because they all think it's Stepford community. You know, welcome to Celebration. You know, but yes, so right next door to Orlando, theme park world.
Well, one of my favorite local theaters is the Woodland Celebration Cinema. So Celebration is a good place. Yeah, Celebration Cinema. I gave them a plug, so I'll tweet it to them, and you know, great popcorn, cheap movies. Anyhow, Jon, you are a writer director. How did you get into being a writer and director?
Well, when I go to these festivals, I'm like one of the old birds. You know, I'm the old fart that everybody sees. Like, who's this guy? I'm a writer director too. I started when I was 50, doing my first feature.
Really?
Yes. So now I have been part of the business in that I've done industrials, short films, 3D movies, things like that.
Very cool.
Theme park is my life. I grew up started working for SeaWorld, and moved from San Diego to Aurora, Ohio, and they had a SeaWorld up there. So I got to know Ohio very well, and then got transferred down to Florida, and then went independent and have a production company, and we do rides, attractions, live shows, films. So I have cut my teeth on a lot of films. So I have 25, 30 years of experience doing that, but I mean, I've never done anything over 20 minutes long in my entire life, including my wife, but let's cut that part out. But anyway, we have never done
I'm blushing, can you tell?
Never done anything that long. So when I turned 50, it was a vanity project, mind you, but I just said, I want to do something, because when you go to a theme park, it's usually 15 to 20 minutes long. I want to do something longer than that and see if I can hold a story that long. So I did it. First, it was a movie called Scare Zone, which is on Amazon and iTunes and all of that.
Awesome.
That was so fun. I wanted to do it again, and so The Visitant was our next go at it, and I'm hooked, and I love it, and I still have my day job where I do the 20-minute things, but I really like this.
So tell me about The Visitant.
Well, The Visitant is a paranormal thriller. Scare Zone, the first movie, was kind of a slasher, you know.
I kind of had that sneaking suspicion.
Yeah, and but this film is more a little more subtle. It is paranormal based, and when I did it, I purposefully tried to approach this as saying, you know what, this is something that I want to be able to reach out to an audience that is not necessarily into horror and things like that. I see this as being a film, and I know this sounds horrible, but I see this as a film that could play really well on Oprah or Lifetime. It's a woman's story, really, and here's a guy writing a woman's story, but it's a woman's story, and it's really about is there really paranormal things that are happening, or is she just really or
PMS overdrive.
Yeah, she's had some tough experiences that may have brought this about, and watch her progression go throughout the film and see what it's like. So it really is kind of a character study. And to do that, and because we didn't have much of a budget, I was funded by American Express, Visa, and MasterCard, which I'm still paying off.
I've met them.
Yes. So to do that, we shot at my house. 95% of the film. We did shoot an opening scene at the producer's house, and we did one outdoor scene where we paid a location fee of $200 to shoot outside. We wanted to have one outdoor shot that wasn't my house. So
understood.
Yeah. So that's what it is. It's a paranormal story, but it's really about a woman, and we had to find somebody who could really carry this entire film. And Michelle Farron, who is the star of the film, is awesome, and she's actually a funny freaking lady. She is funny, but she's not funny in this film. But I found that in making these kind of films, comedians sometimes make the best dramatic actors.
Really?
Actresses, yeah. It's really amazing. She really tapped into it, and she's quite believable, I think, anyway.
Well, there is that kind of a feel to a comedian where they play on their own.
Absolutely. They have to
pain.
tap into their, their pain or their struggles growing up or everything. So she just kind of leveraged that, I think,
Right.
and took full advantage of it. So it's very easy for a director to work with actors who are good. It makes it a lot easier.
Bad actors can be fun too, but
They can be fun, but I love someone who brings something to the table.
Right.
So.
so do you? Well, but tell me a little bit more about the producing of what did it cost, Mr. Visa and Mastercard?
Well,
Can you give me a little clue on that?
I know a lot of people are, they do films for, and I'm hearing $2,000, $3,000, and I'm like, I can't even go to the bathroom without spending 10 or 15 grand. This cost $20,000.
Okay.
And the bulk of the money basically was for some key people. I had to pay,
Right.
$400 a day to a great sound guy. $400 a day for a great best, boy. Or key grip, excuse me.
Right.
I paid for some post-production. And the biggest expense, though, was actually putting my family up in a hotel for 12 days to get them out of the house because we were on set. My wife's an interior designer, so we definitely did not want to have her involved in this because we're trashing the house as we go. And but my kids loved it because they got to stay at a hotel and they're like ordering up food. They're like, "This is great! I just ordered this and I get it. It's free."
Do another film, Dad.
Yeah. So putting them up, and one quick little story was my 9-year-old at the time. She was very excited. She loves hotel living. She goes and tells her teacher at school, "Hey, I'm staying at a hotel." And the teacher's like, "Well, you're not on vacation. What's the deal?" And she goes, "Oh, well, I'm staying at a hotel because my daddy is making a movie at our house. It's an adult film." So, and of course, if you knew how pent up my wife is, we're sitting at the dinner table and she's like, "Honey, okay, what exactly did you say to the teacher? What did you say? Because we live in this community, Binkowski's making a porno." No, it's not that. It was, but the teacher was kind enough to email us back and say, "At first I thought, but then she did say it was a scary movie, and so
Right.
kids couldn't watch it." So anyway, so I thought, oh great, good for the reputation.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Going into porno now.
Yeah, well, I did have one neighbor, bless her heart, she was a little disappointed it wasn't a porno, so I was like,
She was disappointed.
to talk to her later. Anyway.
All righty then. She wanted to be an extra.
Yeah, but bless her. Anyway, so we wanted to tell this story. It actually is based off of actual events. It says based off actual events.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is. It's not the story so much, but the paranormal happenings were totally taken from my business partner and her experiences, which is part of the, weirdness and wonderfulness of this movie was what she went through, and me being a good friend and business partner totally took advantage of her and made a movie out of it, out of her personal experiences.
Making a movie out of somebody else's terror.
Exactly.
That's
Thank you.
how the business works.
She's executive producer. I even took her
very
money,
cool.
so there you go. I
Very
took her money
cool.
too, so.
Well, obviously she was good with it then.
Yeah, she's very good, very good. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's like what you're saying about comedians. You're making money out of your pain and your horror.
That's right. I'm glad she had those experiences.
She may not be, but maybe she, after you make your billions off the movie, she'll be happy to.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just like, okay, come on, let's make some money. So
Excellent. So, as I told you before, and it sounds like you already beat me to the pass. I'd like to ask my interviewees if they've got something weird and wonderful they'd like to share about, themselves or the movie they're doing. Do you have anything additional you'd like to add besides the fact that it's the executive producer's experiences that the movie's based on?
well, I just want to elaborate on it a little bit more. We do attractions for the themed entertainment
Right.
industry, and one of them was a haunted walkthrough through the Queen Mary in Long Beach. It's moored in
Oh
Long
yeah,
Beach.
I've been there a couple times.
And the Queen
Beautiful.
Mary it's a beautiful ship, but it's also a freaky ship. I mean, if anything is haunted, that thing is haunted. And we actually dug through the bowels of the ship and took full advantage of all the creepiness of the place. Well, she was convinced that something had either attached itself to her or whatever, and went home with her. And we did not, for budgetary purposes, include the little children in this movie, but it was particularly interested in her child. When she told these stories, it was fascinating, and she would captivate a crowd. And so we're working on The Visitant, and we have like 163 likes, you know, on her Facebook page. She does a video, you know, about, you know, her experiences, where she talks about what this ghost and entity did. It gets 65,000 hits, and I'm like, what the? We should just be playing your interview. Forget about the movie. So it was completely weird. Everything that you see in this movie, as far as the paranormal experiences, were hers. And so that is strange. And what was wonderful is that I found out that people are actually really interested in this kind of thing. So I thought that was very cool.
Do you have a website? Anything you?
Yes, we have thevisitant.com. We didn't even have to put movie after it. So thevisitant.com, and that'll take you there. Or also, if you go to look up The Visitant on Facebook, you see there, and you can see her interview, which is really interesting. And we tour the house, and we have a couple of pictures and things like that. So I think
You got another story. Come on.
Well, no, all right. So on the Queen Mary, we do this attraction where we actually build a 40-passenger elevator to be able to bring people down into the bowels of the ship. And we have ghosts, and we have steam pipes that go off, and we have, you know, creepy hallways you go down. The pool is really, you got to go see this thing. It's wild. But we open this thing up, and they open it up near Halloween, and it's packed. This thing is very successful. Well, one of my associate producers, you know, friends, an elderly woman, goes on this tour. And she goes, that was the most amazing tour. I particularly loved the little girl that you had in the corner who was swinging on the cot, who was talking to us. And we all looked at each other and went, we don't have a little girl on the cot who's talking to us. And we find out later that there was some story about some little girl, you know, back in, you know, the day of World War II or whatever, who had died in the place and is haunting the place, and we all went, ah! It was the freakiest thing. Because this little old lady would not, you know, she would not, she just goes, it's the most, it was a wonderful thing. She was talking to us and everything. I was like, oh man, that was the first time I really had seriously, you know, chills run up my spine. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. So that was a good one. That was a good one. That was freaky. So hopefully we brought some of this freakiness to the movie, and you know, get a chance to enjoy that kind of thing.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much again.
Absolutely.
And, that's a wrap.
That's cool. So,
excellent. Well, from the Thriller Chiller in Grand Rapids, Michigan, this has been the Weird Review. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.